about?
So tell me, who are your audience?
What are you talking about? Okay, see, I don't believe in the right or wrong answer.
Okay.
So basically, for this kind of thing I'm actually working on,
Okay.
I believe that people will actually need this. One, employers of labor
All right.
will actually need this. Entrepreneurs,
Employers of labor, entrepreneurs.
entrepreneurs.
So who exactly are employers of labor? Because I don't want us to use vague words that would carry a lot of meaning, and at the end of the day, we don't know exactly what it means.
Okay,
For instance, entrepreneurs. I deal with entrepreneurs, but the audience for fashion are quite different from the audience for maybe digital marketing, or so
definitely.
they're different set of entrepreneurs. So and the same product, the same service does not apply to every entrepreneur. So that's why we're narrowing down on your audience.
Okay, like what I'm actually saying is when it comes to communication,
Okay.
it is believed communication is what we do every second.
It's part of what makes us a social being as a
Social
human.
being.
Yeah.
It's what we do every second, whether consciously or unconsciously.
Okay.
So everybody will communicate one way or the other, with body language, our voices, whatever it is, even down to our hairstyle and the tears we put on.
Okay.
So that's why I'm actually when it comes to effective communication, I don't want to assume, though it is compulsory, that we, no matter what our line of business is, no matter who we are, we need to be able to communicate effectively.
All right.
So now, communication, when it comes to the audience, I want to believe under the employer of labor, I'll place the entrepreneur and the business owner, be it small or medium or large scale.
Now, talking about business owner,
Okay,
we need to narrow it down also.
okay,
When it comes to business owners or maybe managers or directors in businesses, we have different roles, and the role of every one of them is quite different. Now, the role of a CEO is more of decision making during meeting and a whole lot of other things. The role of a sales director or sales manager is more of negotiation with clients, prospects of other companies. So, and each of these roles has different communication styles.
mhm,
So, like, are you going to cover all of the roles together, or you're narrowing down on each? Like, if I'm to talk about communication now, I'm definitely going to be talking more in terms of sales, in terms of sales psychology, in terms of communication pertaining to sales. So, what exactly is that we're narrowing down on?
okay. Basically, that's why we have one of these stuff under the communication course that has to do with the art of negotiation.
Okay.
Because definitely, as a salesperson, or as a sales director, as a CEO, negotiation is one thing you have to be able to do. You have to be able to negotiate, and negotiating you must understand human psychology.
Mhm.
So there's an aspect of the course that actually caters for this set of person, be it a CEO, be it a salesperson or a marketer, or even the employee, the person whosoever the person is seeking entry into an organization. Because from the interview table, even from you stepping your feet into the organization to submit your CV or to attend to be for you to be interviewed,
Yeah.
whatever you say there or whatever body position, body language actually put up there decide a whole lot of things. Now you have to be able to negotiate your salary as an employee. and there's a style to actually doing that, and differs from sectors to sectors. You can't use the same thing, the same style of negotiation for a sales marketing, for a sales rep position or a salesperson or a marketer.
Okay.
You can't use that same thing in the educational sector. It's a
Okay.
flaw, because if you are, though there's a way you can maneuver your way around it, but for different sector there are different ways to actually going around that.
So you're going to cover the communication styles for each of the sectors.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So, and again, when it comes to negotiation, we have emotion plays a great role in negotiating, because if your ability to understand your own emotion and your ability to understand the emotion of the other person on the table.
Can I cut you there a little?
Okay, yeah, you can.
We're going too deep into what the content is exactly.
Yes.
Now, that's not what we're trying to do now. What
Okay.
we're trying to do now is narrow down on the audience.
Okay.
So I understand, fine, emotion is important in negotiation. Negotiation itself is a communication style on its own that needs like mastery on its own. Now, negotiation is not the only type of communication that happens in a business setting or life or anywhere generally. So, and we're talking of communication as a whole. Now, the aspect of communication you'll be covering, you've already mentioned that, okay, it involves those that are even looking for job, employees, and those that are employers of labor also, and those that are in the executive seats also, managers, CEOs, and everything. The communication style covers every one of them, right? And what you're telling me, it covers every sector also.
Yeah.
So it's more like an encyclopedia of communication.
As much as possible.
All right. So now we're talking about the market again. So it means we're looking at the business space generally. Like it's a wide market.
Okay.
Hmm? Now, we narrowing down on the audience. There's the disadvantage and the disadvantage. I just want us to explore that. Part of the advantage is that we have a wide market. It means anybody or almost everybody interested in business or personal development, or any human generally, because communication is a human thing, it's a social thing. Anybody will be interested. That's the advantage. Now, the advantage is that you have to battle a whole lot of competitors. You are in a red ocean. Because there are people that they will be narrowing down on people. For instance, this is on negotiation secrets for business owners alone. There are a whole lot of books. This is on public speaking. It's still part of communication. But each one has different. There are people that will narrow down on probably closing the sales. There are people that will narrow down on contract negotiation. There are people that will narrow down on employment generally. So, and it means you need to battle with every one of these competitors because you are targeting all of their audience combined together. That's a whole lot of work that you need to put in. So, my recommendation is going to be after you're done with the whole content, try and break it down, each of the content into different markets, into different audience segments, right? And see which one you have the upper hand, the strength to actually push more. See which of the audience you already have. People that are already following you, that are already your audience. See which one of them, which of the segments works more for you that you can easily push. Then you can now work on using that as a bait or hook to actually upsell other phases of the market. It will make your job easier, to make penetrating the market easier for you than just going all out, targeting everybody with all of that competition in place. So what do you think? You need some time to look it through.
Basically, was
Because to be honest with you, each of this content, right, has its own unique audience. So by the time you're now able to decide out of all this content, which audience do you already have on ground that are ready to work with you? That's your entry point.
no from another angle.
Okay.
Let's just assume now that there's no audience base when
Yeah.
you're just getting into the market newly. So with this,
There's no audience base and you're just entering the market newly. Now that's when you need to actually do a thorough market research or analysis to find which is going to be your entry point. You can use research data based on evidence that has been on ground before. You can even test the market yourself. Group it, categorize it, offer some of it for free, see how people respond to it, or talk to people that you feel are the direct audience and see how they respond. So it's more of an experiment, talking with the audience, researching, and you decide, or you leverage on existing data of people that are already in that kind of market.